Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Chef Lethal Plays Path of Exile. It's your boy, Chef Lethal, and I hate that I said that, but I need to say, first of all, get this right off my chest. This recording right now brings me back to the old days of my channel, because you've got Morning Chef, and I used to do this back in the early days, where I would wake up super early and do a recording and back even before I had kids. Anyway, all that to say, welcome back. We're here. We had a good stream the other day, and I had some time to record in the afternoon recently, and so we're doing a voiceover episode today. So forgive me if it sounds a little disconjointed, but I think I'm going to have to try to do this a little bit more frequently because I have more time available to play than I do to record and do a voiceover, if that makes sense. But anyway, I was able to get in and get some time into the game here, so we're just waiting to get into the bridge encampment. And I just want to say real quick that I have still just been absolutely having a blast with this character. I mentioned it on my live stream, and I know those are longer episodes, you may not be able to see this, but I think one thing that like subconsciously was making me drawn to this build, this character type, is that it feels very much like ground slam, because I'm throwing a spell that has the same attack pattern as a ground slam. But anyway, so we're here in Act 7. So I do have the benefit of foresight, so I do know what's happened already. I'm not speaking in real time, so I can tell you right now that I'm going to be doing some backtracking. Got here, I got that point from Whalem, so I'm going here to my passive tree, and I'm on my other screen looking at my path of building. And going up, and we're going to grab this node here for increased critical strike chance per power charge. So at this point, I need to travel to the Dread Thicket, which is way over there. So I'm going to travel to the Northern Forest and then wait and see what happens. One thing that's really boosted my time and my just quickness of getting through each area is the shield charge. So we're gonna blast through these, and then whenever I get caught up on a pack of monsters, I just hit them with the frost blink, but just shield charge everywhere. That has been a big boon to getting through areas very quickly. Stop there for that currency. I think that was Orbs of Augmentation. Early game, getting those early low-level currencies is very important, because you might find a good base of an armor, like a good armor or a good wand or something that's got a good base stats, and you just want to get something going on it. It's not as important at this stage, but it's still pretty important. Here I went to the wrong direction, so I'm going to have to backtrack all the way back down to find where to get to the Dread Thicket. Again, this is where Quicksilver and Shield Charge come in big handy, because you can just charge through. Am I going to grab these augmentations? Yeah, 3 augmentations on a stack is pretty good for this stage. I am going to be looking very soon for Chaos Orbs that drop. Should happen a little bit more frequently. We also have recipes that we can do that get the Chaos Orbs. So we're just zooming through, looking for the big bad boss here. Shouldn't be too much longer. There he is, Gritgul. Oh, It's a girl. I never knew that. I think I just by default gender everything, all the monsters as guys, unless I know definitively. Like Piety is a woman, Diala is a woman. She's on a boss though. I actually had a really hard time with this fight. I've never had this much trouble with Ruthgul. So I learned today, just now, that there are those patterns of like what look like smoking blackness. That's the degen, and it happens real fast. So yeah, watch out for that. Don't be like me. I think another thing that's really helped me with this playthrough, even though I have been dying a lot, it's mostly because of my own just insistence that I go as quickly as possible. But I think one thing that's really gotten me through the playing is the mercenary I chose. And I mentioned this as well, that I wish you could level up the mercenaries, because when she gets out leveled to the area, then I'm gonna be stuck with her. But I like her skills, so then I have to go find another mercenary like her, and there's just nobody like her. I don't know. So he killed Gruthgul, used the trick, the character selection trick, to get back to town, even though that's not necessary because I've got lots of portal scrolls now. Dumping out my inventory, and I did put the point to get another critical strike chance per power charge. So now we're going back to the Val City to continue on my quest. And it's right about here that I start to realize that I might be going the wrong way. See, I had this vague memory of doing this before. So what's going to happen here is I'm going through the temple, and I started to think, this all seems really familiar. There's no quests in the thing, but I didn't necessarily think such a big deal of it, because if you don't talk to the NPCs, then you don't get their quest, but you can still go do the quest. So here I am trying to be slick, thinking, oh, I'm just ahead of the game, you know, I'm just not going to go to town and talk to the NPCs. And just there I checked my map, and I was, cause that's where I'm thinking, am I supposed to be in Act 7 or Act 8? So I'm supposed to be in Act 8, and I'm going to find it right about here. So go back to character selection, and then I'm going to spawn back in Bridge Encampment and immediately port out to the Act 8 town. So this was a bummer. This did, you know, it takes off some time, and I wish I could just time how long I was going in the wrong way or whatever and take it off my slash played, but I'm not that guy. I'm not going to do that. So now we are where we need to be. And ooh, look at that. Yep, I've got corrupted blood, so the more I move, the more I die. But luckily, lots of monsters there to fill up my life flasks.
Death waits with open arms.
And this area is pretty self-explanatory. You just follow this wall on the side and kill things along the way. The minions I have are doing the work, so my flasks are staying up pretty good. And you'll find the stairs, and when we go through here, I've got a skill I need to level up. I do remember this. I'm gonna do it here soon, because I've got 3 other skills that are about to hit their threshold. There you go. So I stopped here to kill some monsters so I could get some time to do that. And we're gonna keep on moving. Moving. Shield charge, frost blink, shield charge, frost blink, especially in groups of either a big pack of monsters or in magic or rare monsters especially. The frost blink does recharge quicker with the higher rarity of monster, or I guess difficulty of monster. I don't know if pack size matters,
The foulest thaumaturgy hangs in the
or
air.
if it's strictly the rarity of the monsters. So that's something to think about. So we're here now in the Sarn encampment. I am going to talk to everybody just to get my quests on the board, so I'm not aimlessly wandering in the wrong act. So we talked to... I guess I didn't talk to... I missed Hargan and Marmoa. I guess maybe I wanted to think about trying to save some time. And I know that this is the next thing, is to come into the sewers, and we got to go find Dewedre and end her life. So we're going through the sewers. This is the same sewers from Act 3, if I'm not mistaken. It's just Dewedre has taken hold, has squatted, as it were. It was a cool circle I just did there. Total waste of time. Really happy I did that. I did accidentally go through the delirium mirror, and I'm just now remembering that I don't actually end up collecting the rewards there, the divination card rewards, because I just kept moving on. There's our first ball orb of the play, and I definitely want this frontier leather. Ooh, that was a close call. That was so close. So we keep moving, and so the reason why I didn't disengage with the delirium is because I'm getting lots of experience killing lots of monsters here, and I'm not having too terrible of a time with it because of the shield charge and the frost blink. So right here is where I should have stopped it and gone into Dewedre's cesspool. I did not, so the delirium ended and I got no rewards for it. Kind of a bummer, but I don't expect that I would have gotten any good divination cards this early, so I'm not going to lose sleep over it, and I certainly didn't lose sleep over it last night. Of course, I find the dead end. Always with the dead ends. It's pretty remarkable at this point. I did grab that bow because that's a chromatic orb, and I still need lots of chromatics. Another dead end. It's amazing. I still surprise myself at my efficiency at finding the dead ends. Like, I think if I could not find all the dead ends, that would save so much time. Like, I probably, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes per act if I didn't get every single dead end. Alright, here we are at the cauldron, and I'm just shoring up the monsters here. Hey, look, boots. Gonna grab that Discipline of the Forbidden. We get an extra power charge, I think it said, or frenzy charge. I can actually check that right now while the game is going. So Discipline of the Forbidden is +1 minimum power charges. We get a 8% chance to gain a power charge on kill, and we get 8% increased damage per power charge. On that notable. And now Dewedre the Vile. This was actually, I mean, again, because I'm underleveled and undergeared and everything, I had a really hard time with this fight, and I was doing okay, especially when I start to kind of get the flow. But because there's a lot of minions that spawn in, so it's easy to keep the flasks topped up. But yeah, the damage just was not happening on Dewedre, and that was really frustrating. With this skill, it's important you have to have good placement. Like, your character, you can't, it doesn't work well if your character's right on top of the monster that you're trying to kill, like right there where I was. So you'll see that I'm gonna, if she gets near me, I try to frost blink away and get some space, because you really, ideally, you want the end of the cascade to be where your target is, and sometimes it can be hard to see that, especially if it's off screen a little bit. So there's pretty close, and she's teleported. So honestly, at this point, I was pretty proud of myself that I was able to keep alive. But I think having all those minions is all of her minions, definitely helps, because I had lots of life blast.
Stupid gnat.
But all good things must come to an end. So the pattern is, you know, throwing a bunch of cascade, and then I do a frost bomb, and then I get cocky, and then cascades, cascades, cascades. Oop, that was a close one, real close. Was that only one death on Dewedre? That was actually pretty good, but it took just a really, really, really long time. That's another thing about what'll shave off time. If I had better gear, which is RNG based, and just practice of knowing what to look for and taking the... Sometimes you can save time by taking time to take the time to make better gear, because you won't have to spend as much time killing Dewedre. You'll have better gear to do the damage. Okay, so we are here in the Grand Promenade, and I saw a big pack of monsters here. I want to get those guys down. So we're moving, moving, moving. And I was going through this area thinking, I know there's something here that I need to do, but I don't know what it is. So this is me kind of just trying to make up time, trying to just go fast and act like Mr. Know-It-All Path of Exile player. Just going through and finding what I need to find. I still can't get over how much this reminds me of my early Minecraft days. I mean, literally the earliest channel memories of when I was strictly YouTube, Minecraft. And I didn't have kids yet. It's story time with Chef because I'm not having to focus on actually playing the game. It's kind of interesting. But I was in my first house, and it was just me and Mrs. Lethal and no kids yet. And I would wake up early, sometimes because I had to for work, and I had to do like overtime stuff on Saturdays at home. So sometimes I would be up early just by nature, but sometimes not. But I'm just a morning person in my blood. So I would wake up especially early and have time to record 2-3 episodes at a time, because those I did a little bit more editing back then for the Minecraft ones, but Mrs. Lethal is not a morning person, so I was able to go into a separate room, do the recordings, and then move on. It's harder to do that now, 3 kids, but we get it done. We do good. We do good things. Anyway, moving along here in the bathhouse, and this is another time I was like, oh, I know there's something here. I'm not gonna check my map, but oh look, a trial. Definitely want to do the trial of ascendancy. And I got real cocky. I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna run through, even though my fire resistance is terrible. I think I've got the movement skills to go fast, so that's what I tried to do. Coming up here, grab this crafting recipe for flask duration, which I don't think I ever really used. It was there, I was like, uh-oh, uh-oh, did I hit this lever? Alright, now I gotta go up here, and then blast over. Again, getting through those guys with frost blink. When you miss a shield charge, it does feel pretty bad. If the shield charge, like you hit a wall or a pivot, a divot in the ground, or a treasure chest or something, and it just stops the shield charge. It's really annoying. But we got through the trial with relative ease, just some kind of stupidity of me being cocky. And right there I thought, okay, I need to go back to the Grand Promenade and get the waypoint. But then I saw this, exclamation point. So we're going to go through here and kill this mini boss, Hector Titusius. Frost bomb over there, and then just hit him. Cascade, cascade. All the cascading. Got him done. Got a unique ring. Grab the wings of Vestiri. Grab the ring. And then I'm looking for a way back to the door. I decided not to log out because I was hoping that I would be able to get out here and find the waypoint relatively easily. There's more backtracking here, which again killed a lot of time, which I'm not super thrilled about, but it is what it is. I'm still above all of my personal best times, so I'm not torn up about it, but it's just not something that, it's just something I wish I would have not done. Looking for the waypoint. Getting all the dead ends. It's just what I do. Grab these gloves because I use the same item filter style. I know that those gloves, without looking at them at all, I know that color pattern on the label means I can sell it for a chromatic orb. And since my gear colors are very important, maybe the most important right now, definitely one of the chromatics. Twilight's fragile balance guards in the halls of night seek the glimmer of dawn, and in the sun's house a passing shadow. Okay, so that is, I need to find, I'm just now reading that. I saw that come up and I was like, what the heck, but I didn't take the time to read it. I was just frustrated because there's a door up there that I can't get to. And right there I got frustrated and said, I'm not going to do any more backtracking. I'm going to go back to town and turn in my quests and see what the heck, because where is this waypoint?
Goodbye.
So then I thought, all right, let me talk to everybody, because clearly I'm doing all this backtracking. Let me just talk to all the town folk, and then I can use the map and see where I need to go. Talk to Clarissa. Unload my inventory. Oh no, Hargan wanted to talk again for some reason. Okay, we're gonna unload. Yep, very good. And then, looking at the waypoint. Aha, I did need to do something in the bathhouse. So we're gonna go there. And now, I need to run around and try to find a dead end. No, I need to try to find Yugal, which, spoiler, is I think maybe my least favorite of the Pantheon bosses to fight. Just because there's a lot going on. You'll see when we get there if you're not familiar. But at least I know it's in a general viscerally direction, so then there's the door that pops up, so I know there's the High Gardens, and now I have to go actually find his battle arena. And this part can be kind of tricky just because a lot of the enemies are these spiky dudes, and when they die, they eject their spikes, and it hurts, especially in a large pack. If you do manage to, there are certain criteria that if you kill them, they don't explode their needles. I think you have to shatter them, like they have to freeze them, and then they get shattered when they die. I don't exactly know, but I know I've had many times in the past. I've had lots of issues with this section because of all the spiky dudes, and I would just die, just watch my health vanish because of that. And then one of my friends, my experienced friends, told me, oh no, because you need this thing on your boots or ring or whatever, or you need this skill that freezes the enemies, and then when they die, they shatter. I think that was when I was doing Hex Blast. I needed to use a certain skill or something that would freeze the monsters, and then the actual Hex Blast mine would kill them. So here's Yugul. So there's those. I mean, for one, he's a very mobile boss, and I don't want him on top of me because I need distance to get the most damage. And you'll just see how much stuff is happening. We've got him coming at me himself. We've got the big ice balls that are just flying around. We've got these silver balls coming at me. They provide a degen. And he's just all over the place. And then after he gets down a third health, he hides and spawns these reflections that are really obnoxious. So I'm just trying to get lucky, throwing my spell out, looking for the real Slim Yugul. Please stand up. There he is. All right. So he's aggroed on me. I really wish he wouldn't be, but it is what it is. So I'm just trying to get distance by Frost Blink, and then turn around and hit him with Glacial Cascade. Throw a Frost Bomb, and get distance. He's on me, man. He's just absolutely on me. And I wish he wasn't. So there's our first death on Yugul because of those stupid silver balls that just drain my health so fast. It doesn't help. I don't have a ton of health anyway, but I could really use some more. But again, that's gear, and there's no penalty for dying right now, so I'm not. I mean, the penalty is it takes longer to do stuff, but I'm not gonna go out of my way necessarily to get more life right now, as it happens to come. Alright, we got through the reflections pretty quick, so now it's time to bring Yugul down final. And just look at all the degen. It's insane. I'm just noticing my Merc is on her last leg. Okay, so there I lose my mercenary. That's not surprising considering all of the degen pools and everything. Yugul goes down. Very much a disliked portion of the game. And that is where we are going to end it. So I want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know I did. But yeah, more to come. This was a lot of fun, and we're making great progress. It'd be interesting to see how it goes at the end of the act. What my time is. I'm not going to check the time until after I'm done. I don't want a sneak peek of how I'm doing. So yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.